I won the lottery and got my sweet revenge on my ex. This is the story of how I went from being broke and heartbroken to winning the lottery and getting back at my ex-girlfriend. Let me take you back to a few months ago. I was living in a tiny studio apartment in a not-so-great part of town. My rent was late more often than not, and my fridge was mostly empty except for some expired takeout containers and a few cans of beans. I was working to minimum wage jobs just to make ends meet, and it felt like I was running on a hamster wheel, exhausting but getting nowhere. My girlfriend, Jenna, and I had been together for years. We started dating in college when we were both broke and dreaming big. But as time went on, she grew frustrated with my financial situation. She wanted the nice things in life: dinners at fancy restaurants, vacations, and designer clothes, things I couldn't provide. One day, out of the blue, she told me she was leaving me for someone who could give her the life she wanted. She walked out with her new boyfriend, leaving me with nothing but my old car, a rusty hatchback that barely ran. I felt like my world had crumbled around me. Fast forward to one fateful night when I was sitting on my couch, staring at the wall and feeling sorry for myself. I saw an ad for the lottery while scrolling through social media. In a moment of desperation mixed with hope, I decided to buy a ticket online. What's the worst that could happen? I thought. The next day, I woke up groggy and checked my phone for the winning numbers. As I read them aloud, my heart raced faster with each digit. When I realized that I had won $10 million, disbelief washed over me like a tidal wave. I jumped up and down in my tiny living room, screaming like a madman. After the initial shock wore off, reality set in. This money could change everything. But as the excitement bubbled inside me, another feeling emerged: revenge. Once the euphoria of winning settled down, my thoughts turned to Jenna. She had always looked down on me because of my financial struggles, and now it was time for me to show her what she had lost. Not out of spite, but as a way to reclaim my self-worth. The first thing on my list was to sell that old rust bucket she left behind. It had been nothing but a reminder of my past failures. After selling it for a decent price online, I used part of my winnings to buy a brand new luxury car, something sleek and eye-catching that would turn heads. Next up was finding a place that reflected my new status. I rented a gorgeous penthouse apartment downtown with stunning views of the skyline and all the amenities you could dream of: pool, gym, rooftop terrace, you name it. To really drive my point home, I planned an extravagant housewarming party and made sure to invite all our mutual friends, and yes, Jenna too. This wasn't just about showing off, it was about celebrating my new life. The night of the party arrived, and I was buzzing with excitement and nerves as guests started arriving. When Jenna walked in with her new boyfriend, let's call him Chad, I could see her jaw drop as she took in my transformation. I greeted everyone with enthusiasm while secretly enjoying Jenna's reaction from afar. She looked around at all the lavish decorations and fancy hors d'oeuvres being served by wait staff I'd hired for the evening. As the night went on, Jenna tried to engage in small talk with me about mundane things like work or mutual friends' lives, but you could see her discomfort growing as people complimented me on my new lifestyle. At one point during the party, Jenna pulled me aside into a quieter corner of the apartment where we could talk without being overheard. "Did you really have to go all out just to show me up?" she asked, her voice tinged with annoyance. I smiled softly and replied, "Oh no. This isn't about you at all. This is just who I am now." Her expression shifted from annoyance to shock as she processed what I had said. It felt liberating to finally stand tall after all those years of feeling inadequate next to her expectations. After the party ended, Jenna reached out several times over the next few weeks trying to rekindle our relationship. She claimed she made a mistake and wanted another chance because things weren't going well with Chad. But here's the thing. While it felt good to have that moment of revenge, what mattered most was that I had finally found my self-worth without her validation. I didn't need her anymore. I had built a life filled with opportunities and happiness that didn't include her or anyone who judged me based on my financial status. So here I am now living my best life post-lottery win and enjoying every moment without looking back at past heartbreaks or regrets. Sometimes life throws you curveballs that lead you exactly where you need to be. Thanks for reading. What would you do if you were in my shoes? Would you seek revenge or just move on?